per the need in the facility. That is the list that we've remitted, that we've given to the Council of Governors. Thank you, Chair.
Good, noted, and it was done in the last regime, not this one. Yeah. Good. Go to number 6, deficiencies in implementation of universal health coverage. Auditor.
Thank you, Chair.
When you look at the table, you don't have to read all of it. You just say as a depleted kilo.
Chair, we had quite level 5 hospitals have the standard capacity for various resources, from the staff to equipment. However, we have an appendix in our report for what the level 5 are lacking for them to be actually called level 5, because this particular hospital is supposed to be elevated to level 6, Chair. So they need to tell us what they have done so far, implementation of our recommendations, or the as per the requirements from the Kenya Quality Model for Health Policy Guidelines. Thank you, Chair.
Good. Governor.
Thank you, Chair. We agree with the audit observation that the Meru Teaching and Referral Hospital had not met some of the Kenya Quality Model. However, several measures have been put in place to ensure compliance, including construction of a modern ward block at the facility, which is at 90% completion level. It is expected that the completion of the ward block will provide an additional 250 inpatient beds, 10 ICU beds, and 11 HDU beds. In addition, the management of Meru Teaching and Referral Hospital and identified the personnel gaps and written to the County Public Service Board through the Chief Officer Health. There is an evidence to that effect, Chair. See Annex 8, request to the County Public Service for recruitment of additional staff. Annex 9, Board deliberations on staffing needs. The County Public Service Board is currently undertaking recruitment of staff to fill the staffing gaps. There is an evidence to the copy of an advertisement for vacancies within the Department of Health, Chair. Thank you.
Good. Auditor.
Thank you, Chair. We have only relied with the information provided from management. We kindly request to give adequate latest status on the issues that the management have indicated here when we'll be doing our in-year audits, Chair.
Honourable members, any comments?
Yes, Chair. Governor, looking at the issues which were raised by the auditor, I don't see a query on the implementation of the facility improvement funds. So I'd assume you are retaining, most of the money is being retained at the hospital. And so the finances of the hospitals are better. So it should not be a difficult thing to implement this and put the hospital to where it's supposed to be.
Yes, Governor, you may respond.
That's true, Chair. On FIF, I will engage my CEO to comment briefly.
Thank you, Chair. It's correct. Part of the FIF, there is a board in place that is able to do employment. Currently, we're employing some of the human resource using FIF, that is doctors, casuals, across board. So what is happening is the complementary by the county government in terms of advertisement and employing. But as a hospital, we are using FIF to be able to employ doctors and nurses. So what we provided is an additional from the county aspect of it where they are doing the recruitment. So we are using FIF to employ.
Good. It's a new member of sales work team. Introduce yourself.
Thank you, Chair, members, Governor, and your team. My name is Senator Chimera, Senator from Kwale County, member of this committee. My apologies, Chair.
Taken and noted. Any other comment, members? Good. Let's go to the next query.
Thank you, Chair. The use of manual payroll. I wish to prosecute this issue, Chair. The hospital operates a manual system in processing its payroll. The use of manual system requires manual calculation of deductions and net pay and constant monthly or annual updates on data manually, which is prone to error or manipulation. The management did not provide a justification of maintaining a manual payroll and did not demonstrate mechanism put in place to protect payroll data integrity in respect of the manual. In the circumstance, the authenticity of the payroll records could not be confirmed with accuracy. Thank you, Chair. I submit.
Governor, your response, please.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, Chair. The management, we acknowledge the audit of observation regarding the use of manual payroll system for contracted staff. The hospital formally requested integration into the government integrated payroll system through the ministry responsible for public service. There is an evidence to that effect on Annex 12 memo, Minister of Public Service seeking guidance. Management was advised that migration to government payroll require the existence and approval of key human resource instruments, including an approval organizational structure, an approved staff establishment, a grading structure and career progression guideline, and approved human resource policies and procedures. In compliance with these requirements, the hospital board has approved the human resource policies and procedures manual and initiated the approved process for the staff establishment, organizational structure, proposed grading structure, and career progression guidelines. Upon approval, the complete set of HR instruments will be submitted to the ministry responsible for public service to facilitate migration from the manual payroll to the government payroll system in accordance with public service guidelines. The manual payroll has been maintained to ensure uninterrupted remuneration of contracted staff and will be phased out once the requisite human resource instruments are approved, followed by job evaluation and provision of approved salary structured by the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. Management remains committed to ensure full compliance with public service payroll requirements. Thank you, Chair.
Governor, Auditor, your comments after the response.
Thank you, Chair. Until the hospital migrates to a controlled system payroll, our issue still stands.
Governor, who are these particular employees that are being paid outside the payroll? Who are these particular staff? And is it also the other 3 hospitals? Is this what you are doing? Then Beth, Senator Beth.
Chair, looking at the management's response, it is non-committal. I don't know how long will that process take to migrate from manual to now the system.
Any other member? Good, Governor.
Thank you, Chair. Allow me, Chair, to engage my Chief Officer Finance. I know you are a trained voice, but you try to answer this.
Let's stand so that we can see him.
Yes, Chair. I wish to say that on this matter, there is a committee in place which is working on transition so that we transfer the staff from the Department of Public Service. We transfer the portion of the payroll to level 5. So that now they stand alone as an independent entity in terms of personnel management.
Said, who are these particular staff? Nurses, cleaners, or who are they?
Okay, currently the ones who are employed on.
And did you give the auditor the list?
Chair, the list is there, but allow me to hand over to CEO again, level 5, to clarify further. Because of the list.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe I put it this. The hospital is in a phase of transition from a level 5 to a level 6. And we are doing all, for us to be able to migrate to a government payroll, we needed to have all these HR instruments, which as of last week, we had a board retreat and we've prepared those HR instruments involving the Ministry of SRC, Public Service Commission in board. And the next phase through the chair is that we are going to put this document to service SRC to be able to approve for us to be able to go ahead with incorporating them into the government payroll. Yes, we've shared with the auditor the number of people who are on contract who are paid manually. Those are doctors, nurses, and casual staff who are given a contractual 1 year. But those are the ones that we are going to face them and add them to the government payroll once all the documents are approved. Thank you.
Good, Simbukwa.
No, Chair, I just wanted, I was wondering whether he is trying to evade the question, because it was, there was a specific question on the casuals engaged for how long, but I think he mentioned it's 1 year?
Yeah, we do 1 year contract renewable.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, it means they're not casuals. These are contracts. They are contracted employees, and every year, I think they roll over if the need arises. So when are you likely to be approved as level 6?
It's a process. We are in the process of ensuring that those documents are approved by SRC. Once the SRC gives a go-ahead, then it's given back to the county, and then it goes through the process of the assembly, and then gazettement, memo. So we're in the phase of where we are legalizing the document, and we've already done that from the part of the management.
Chair, it is still hanging. How long is the process taking? That's what I had called non-committal. You must give some time frame.
Thank you. From the meeting that we had SRC, the documents, they said within 21 days, they should be able to give us a response to that effect.
Good. Thank you very much, honorable members. I believe we are now done with the hospitals, and I want the chair, I want chair to discuss the revenue board. As clerk calls the substantive chair, you know there are many things that you need to address. Policy issues, we'll give you recommendations. And queries relating to assets, we want the county to address all issues relating to assets in hospitals, identification of assets in each valuation. We want you to tag the assets, having asset register for all the hospitals. There are some that are still with maybe the former county council of Meru. You know, these are things that you need to fast track. Titling of land, which I have said. You need county to give also timeline on all this. You know, Governor, you only have 6 months. You have March, April, May, June. From July, your competitors will be on your neck. You know, campaigns will begin. I don't know, they have begun in my county. I don't know if they began in your county. So it means basically from July this year, so most things might be shelved and you focus on your lifeline on re-election. So it is important that you engage your CCs and your team so that they can help you to fast track some of these things. You know, we are aware. You know, Kenya is already in campaign mode. So auditors, please give the matter in view in the next audit cycle so that you can report to us, give progress, look at all these contract issues, look at the hospital. We want to report to you that from April, when we are done with this report, we'll be visiting counties. And I remember we told you last time, we'll come and see the status of that hospital, amongst other issues.
Karibu sana, Chair.
So please, can you call?
Chair, This one I must confess, we have visited Meru hospitals, and I assure you, what you see is not what you get. You get better services, and I assure you that young man is doing a good job. That one I assure you, 100%.
Good, I've changed my mind also.
Chair, allow a clap for my,
No, it is
my
not
dear
allowed.
Senator.
When I go, I'll confirm. Because of what he's been
We
doing.
should also visit to...
Because of what he's been doing, I've
what she
changed my
said.
mind from my former colleague. We are supporting him now. I told you Kawira was my member. I was a chair of ICT, and she used to pray for us. But now you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. And I didn't support you to get a job. So I supported her throughout.
You are supporting the process.
Yes. Good. What is the chair? Good. Please, Odisa, can you give us a brief on the Meru County Revenue Board?
Chair, allow me to bring in the revenue board. And,
Yeah, they are out there?
yes, and release the hospital team.
Hospital, please, you can hang outside. Don't leave. Just hang outside for the governor.
So I am back. So we are going to look at the financial statements, audited report for the financial of Meru County Revenue Board for the year ended 30th June 2025. Sorry. I think there are some officers who have joined us. Governor, you can help us to put them on record.
Yes, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Pia Karibu. The team that has joined us from Meru, in charge of revenue collection, you can introduce yourself.
And good afternoon. I'm William Wenda.
Yes, good afternoon, through Chair. I'm Machari Edward.
I am in charge of finance in Meru Revenue Board.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm Machari Edward, the CPA Revenue Board. CEO, Meru County Revenue Board.
Afternoon, I'm Eric Mutuma, ICT Meru County Revenue Board.
I'm Francis Njenga Mungai, Director Revenue.
Back to you, Chair. We are through.
Now, Governor, I know you have just come in as a governor, and this particular board was set up much earlier. Which year was it set up, Auditor? Any idea?
2014. Act of 2014.
2014.
Yes.
2014 is when devolution was just starting. And a number of issues have been raised about sustainability of this board and even its legal standing. And also, there are issues around this board doing a parallel job to what is supposed to be done by other entities. So maybe before we start, Governor, you can give us a quick brief about this. I think this matter, we had also raised it in the past.
Thank you, Chair. Again, I appreciate your audience on this matter and the concern that this committee and the Auditor General has on the legality or legal standing on the Meru County Revenue Board, and also the ability for this critical body to continue offering services to the people of Meru. Chair, the legal standing, the body is properly anchored on law through the legal procedure, the acts of the Meru County Assembly, and on the sustainability, the Meru County Assembly of 2014, it is there. The sustainability, Chair, we agree that there is a challenge, but the body does not really sustain itself. It receives support from the Meru County Executive. We give them resources to be able to do the work. What they do is just to collect revenue. They just receive the revenue on our behalf, but a number of measures are being put in place to ensure that this board is effective. It is able to collect and ensure maximum collection of the resources that are lying in Meru, and ensure that we maximize on the potential that the county has. A number of measures are in place, and in due time, Chair, I will take you through the aspects, through the measures that we put in place to ensure that the body remains afloat and serves the people of Meru maximally. Thank you, Chair.
Anyway, I will leave it to members to go through some of the queries, but it is a concern that has been expressed earlier. So, Auditor, I would like you to give us a brief of this report, and then after that, I will direct you to 3 queries. I think there is a query on undisclosed revenue. And then there is a query on material uncertainty relating to going concern. Then there is a query on lack of cost-benefit analysis. This is what I was referring to. And as we do that, there is a related query that cuts across all those other queries called conflict of interest. Conflict of interest. So I think we can cover those ones. The others which we have not covered, I think we'll take written responses. On that, unless if a member has and as you cover cost-benefit analysis, there is also a related query on doubtful payment to revenue collections system service provider. That's also something to do with the cost-benefit. So proceed, Auditor.
Thank you, Chair. I wish to prosecute the report of Auditor General on Meru County Revenue Board for the financial year ended 30th June 2025. Chair, they got a qualified opinion. I wish to start with the first qualifying issue, that is undisclosed revenue. Revenue records, review of records revealed that a local service provider demanded a transaction commission amount totaling Kenya shillings 18,673,213 for the period between July 2024 and April 2025. Those are 10 months, which represented 4.8% of the revenue collected, which will translate to an amount of Kenya shillings 389,025,271 worth of the revenue collected via service provider during the same period. However, the county receiver of revenue reported an amount of Kenya shillings 365,278,922 collected via the same system for 12 months, ended 30th June 2025. The extraction of data from the revenue system on 9th of September 2025 for the same period reflected an amount of Kenya shillings 319,966,363 as the total revenue for the 12 months. That is 1st July 2024 to 30th June 2025. This discrepancy casts doubt on the authenticity of the commission paid or payable and the integrity of the data and the data in use. In the circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of the commission amount demanded totaling Kenya shillings 18,673,213 could not be confirmed. Chair, thank you, and I submit.
Very well. Governor, your response.
Thank you, Chair. The Revenue Board Chair engaged a contractor to offer services on integrated revenue collection management system for a contract period of 3 years with effect from November 2023. As at the closure of financial year 2023-2024, the service provider had not invoiced the commissioned and during the year. However, during the period under review, the service provider issued a demand notice of Kenya shillings 18,673,213, which related to collections from November 17th, 2023 to March 27th, 2025. That is a total of 16 months and not 10 months, Chair. A breakdown of amounts collected during the said period is available for audit review. An evidence is there in Annex 1 supporting documents on amount collected through the system during the same period of 16 months. Thank you, Chair.
Auditor, your comments?
Thank you, Chair. You can see the management is not in agreement with the observation in terms of the time period. However, the data that was extracted from their system in the presence of the officers in the Revenue Board was for the period that we have indicated here. Probably the issue with the system, of which the management also needs to clarify here whether the system has now been synchronized or serviced to give out the correct values, because these are 3 records from the same board which are giving different figures in terms of revenue. The first one is only for the 10 months, when which we recalculated backwards the invoice of the 18 million. It was recalculated backwards to see if at all the service provider demanded 18 million in terms of the commissions, how much should the revenue board ought to have recorded in their books, with a percentage of 4.8% on revenue collected, because if you calculate that was 4.8 on revenue collected. So if at all that's what the service provider was demanding, it means then the board ought to have recorded 389 million. Secondly, the receiver of revenue, the financial statements had indicated 365 million as revenue collected. And then also the extraction of data from their own system for 12 months. Now it was not 10 months. Remember, the 18 million is just 10 months, but now we went ahead to pick the data for 12 months from their own system. It indicated even a much lower value of 319, meaning the system, either the system or something was not adding up. Then also the issue, the management has also indicated that they had not invoiced the contractor, but those records were just obtained from their own records, because we didn't come with any records. The invoice says the issue of 18 million was from the records that we were given to audit. I submit, Chair.
Auditor, maybe before you proceed further, this particular service provider, what is the name of this service provider?
Silicon Craft. Craft Silicon.
Craft Silicon.
Yes, Chair.
Is it the same service provider you are referring to in this query of doubtful payment to the revenue collection system service provider? Is it the same one? There is a query you have raised. Actually, 2 queries. The query on doubtful payment to revenue collection system service provider, and the query on wasteful expenditure on upgrading a parallel revenue management system limited to 2 revenue streams. Are we referring to the same person, or those are different people?
Same person, Chair.
That is the same person?
Yes, Chair.
So this is the same person. When you talk about doubtful payment, how much was spent here?
Chair, since we have several sub-paragraphs, may I be allowed to read all the paragraphs?
No, you know we are trying to save on time. You remember I said we are going to consolidate similar queries which are talking about the same thing together.
Okay, allow me to summarize. The first sub-paragraph, Chair, we had indicated that this service provider, his period was 3 years, commencing 17th July 2023 for a period of 3 years. However, according to the clause 38 of the contract, he was supposed to be paid 4.8% of the total revenue collected. However, the sub-service providers and experts were to be responsible for meeting any and all tax liabilities arising out of the contract, but the client was paying plus the tax liabilities. So under clause 40 of the contract, the total payment under the contract was to be as per clause number 38, but that is not what was adhered to. And then according to the demand letter that was issued to the county government, that was on 11th June 2025, the service provider was demanding a contract fee and a transaction amounting to 44,830,162. However, when we reviewed the records, an amount of Kenya shillings 20 million had been paid to the supplier for the implementation of the integrated county revenue management system. That payment included 232 costs, 174 per month, and 1.6 million per quarter, all totaling to 10 million, which were not part and parcel of the service, the contract that had been signed between the county and the service provider. So we felt that that was a doubtful payment because the payments that were being done were not part of the contract. And also, they didn't agree to the contractual terms as per Section 68 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012. It required the accounting officer for the national entity or parliamentary or any other arm of the government to use in a way that is lawful, the funds to be used in a way that is lawful, authorized, effective, efficient, economical, and transparent, which was not observed. I submit, Chair, for that one doubtful. And the wasteful expenditure on upgrading of a parallel revenue system to 2 revenue streams. The board spent an amount of 2.8 million to upgrade, clean, retrieve data from a parallel revenue management system that was inherently limited to supporting only 2 revenue streams. That is the land rates and the property rent. So we felt if at all there was a service provider that had been engaged by the board to collect revenue, why were we having a parallel another service provider collecting revenue for only 2 streams? That is why we were thinking that the amount of 2.8, that's why we stated the amount of 2.8 was wasteful because these 2 revenue streams ought to have been integrated in the main service provider that is being allocated the work. As a mid chair.
Yes, I think, Governor, this one, I think there are a lot of issues that needs explanation.
Yes, Chair, and we are ready.
Yeah, maybe you can proceed.
Thank you, Chair. I will involve my officers because that was too technical, and I came with my technical officers. Mr. Mutani, you can help us understand.
Thank you, Chair. I'll make a brief comment on the first part on the undisclosed revenue. The point that order is raising is that we are able to demonstrate that the collection was for 16 months and not for the 10 months that the auditor is putting. And if you look at the Annex 1, we have an extract from the system that is showing from the period that the revenue was collected and the total transactions that were done. In the next page, there is monthly breakdown for the revenue that were collected from November 2023 up to March 2025, which is totaling to 386, which is equal to the amount of commission that was earned. On the second issue of doubtful expenditure, it is indeed true that the service provider invoiced for collection fee of 174 per month, which was not in the contract. And when we received the invoice, we raised an objection with the contractor that this amount is not included in the contract. So the management did not pay the 174. On the last item for the wasteful expenditure, the county used to collect run rates and plot rent using the life form from the local authority, which was later renamed Serum. So at one point, the management decided to put all collections in one system.
But because the room was not well maintained, we didn't want to transit to a new system with incorrect data. So we paid for management of that system to ensure that before we transit to the new system, we've captured correct data so that we will not have problems of arrears and inaccurate data in the new system. Thank you, Chair.
Senator Mbuku.
Chair, this one is a bit complicated. And Governor, I know you are aware that this morning in our sister committee of devolution, a petitioner from Meru is petitioning the county of government of Meru to be dissolved on issues of financial irregularities. And these issues were cited there today morning. But clearly, I don't think the people of Meru are getting value for money on this service. First of all, maybe you should have provided this committee with a copy of the contract so that we can understand, because it's becoming a bit funny. I'm looking at an invoice raised among these many which were raised. And I can see there is somewhere you are paying 5.8 million for just sending bulk messages from the documents which have been attached by you. So this one is a bit complicated for us, Governor. But I don't know how the chair is going to rule, because I'm looking at all the invoices which are being raised by this craft silicon, and I didn't have even time to add up the amount of money they have been adding. But it is raising a red flag on this one. And I know this is a contract which was signed even long before you came into office, so I'm sure you have nothing to hide. And I don't know the ruling of the chair, because I think this one, maybe an expert has to go through it, because it's not clear. Are you aware that you paid 5.8 million for bulk SMSs only within 10 months? Because I can see an invoice here for the same.
Okay, Chair. Thank you, Chair, and the Senator, Mr. Bugwa. Chair, I see that what the audit has raised is quite deep and technical. That is why I brought on board my technical officer. And Mr. Bugwa, kindly, I think it's a bit early to declare that we can't substantiate what has happened in this board. So maybe, Chair, I would request that you indulge us further, because it's only a chance that you've given Mr. Mutonyi once to explain. So maybe we can, I have the CEO here and all the technical officers in the house, so we can take you through the process and get where maybe things are not very clear, Chair. So maybe we can be guided on the specific areas where we are supposed to make it clear for us to do our part. Like the bulk SMSs, Chair, I can bring my CEO on board to explain, because that is something explainable.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe to intervene on that response, on bulky SMSs. This from the contract was not clear from the time of reception, and that is why we objected through that management letter under the annexes. It is still there, and that amount is still not clear to be paid. So we did not pay. They raised an invoice, but from our end and our record is not yet paid.
Do you have the contract with you? Can you provide the committee with copies of this contract so that we can be able to follow?
Okay, thank you, Chair. That one, upon Chairman request, we can avail it.
But you know these are documents.
You need just to have provided it. You don't need my minimum. You just needed to have provided it as part of your annexures. So you need to provide that. Governor, you know, I started by saying this was done before this particular house put you in charge. And I'm beginning. Do you have other funds? Do you have other funds?
Yes, yes, we do. We do. We have microfinance.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Meru County Investment and Development Corporation. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm beginning to think that this committee would need to exhaustively look at these issues because something is not adding up clearly about this revenue board. If you look at just the issue of the service provider alone has generated three serious queries. The query on undisclosed revenue, then there is a query on doubtful payment to the service provider, where the service provider invoiced 44 million, which they wanted to be paid. And then there is a wasteful expenditure on upgrading a parallel system. So why would you go for a parallel system and you're already paying this guy money? And that parallel system was only going to handle two revenue streams. Yeah, so that without the contract, I don't think we will be able to do much justice to these three queries. So my view is that Bwana MD, you needed to have come with a contract. You have not come with a contract. And still, there are issues the auditor has raised, which are related, and which, if we had the contract, then we would know how to handle it. There is an issue that the auditor has raised on over-allocation of operational funds to the revenue board. The auditor has also questioned the viability of throughout the query on lack of cost-benefit analysis. That the records indicate that the revenue board has been receiving transfers from the county government amounting to 341 million. But the on-source revenue is 402. So what I'm trying to say is that maybe, Governor, we would need that contract, because it looks like this service provider is central to this board. We would need that agreement presented to us, and I know you are supposed to come back for funds. So members, if you are in agreement with me, we can delay considering this report until we get the contract, so that now when they come back to handle funds, we can combine this with the funds and do justice to this report. It looks like this report is not a report we can rush through today. We will need to have the contract with us. So members.
Yes, I'm in agreement, Chair, but the contract should not be brought on the day of the meeting. It should come maybe 2 weeks earlier so that our secretariat can have a look at it.
Yes, the contract should come much earlier. So the clerk will send, when the clerk is sending a letter, and the clerk will need to note that, indicate that we would need to have the contract with the service provider, so that we handle the funds and we also handle the revenue board. You can hear what Senator Mbugua is saying. There is a petition before the devolution committee, so we would want to get all the facts with us so that we can even advise devolution committee. We are not saying that there is a loss of funds, but we are not convinced. We are not convinced, and we will be convinced better if we have the agreement. Auditor, Mark, you have any comment on this?
No, Chair, I concur with your ruling, Chair. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Governor, are you in agreement? Can we delay this so that when you be coming for funds, we look at this when we have the agreement with us?
In total agreement, Chair, we need to get all the facts correct.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Senator Amida?
I concur. And I think I also concur with Senator Mbogo that we need to have it in advance so that at least you can understand. Otherwise, this one, whatever we have right now doesn't add up.
Because even the auditor has questioned the existence, or he's saying that this board is insolvent. Because the current liabilities are more than the current assets. Therefore, it has a negative working capital of 14.2 million. So these are the issues that we really need to understand the value for money in that agreement, because what I'm seeing is you have a revenue board, but besides the revenue board, there is a service provider who is benefiting from the revenue board. And also, we have other departments within the county which is supposed to be doing what the revenue board is doing. So, there is a mix-up. There is a mix-up of issues here, Governor. So, once we have the agreement, CEC Finance, you want to say something through your Governor?
Nothing, Chair. We are listening to you.
Yeah. So we just want to be sure about these things, Governor, because the auditor, the issues the auditor is raising, can be best understood when we have the agreement. Even the issue of conflict of interest, how was it handled in the agreement? We want to understand. She has raised that issue. We are talking about and the role of the county generally, the role of the respective departments in the agreement, what were they supposed to do? Because there's a query that has been raised about the role of chief finance officer in this. During the board meetings, he was, so I think there is a lot of mix-up in this thing. Legal, you can advise us. If I've gone overboard, please advise me as well. But that's what I'm looking from where I'm sitting.
Yes, actually, we just wanted to add that while we were reviewing the queries, we also noted that we need to have the Meru County Act that established this authority, because some queries have referenced that particular act, and it is talking about non-compliance with some sections of it. So I think it would benefit the committee if we get a copy of the act. What they attached was an amendment to the act, but we would require the parent act so that we can be able to review.
Very well. So you can send the act to us as well, together. So send them The moment you get the letter, as you send the submission for the funds, you will not resubmit this. You will only give us the agreement together with the act, and then we will handle all the other funds plus this one, so that we give it justice. Without an agreement, we will not be able to do much in understanding these issues. So we will send a letter with the details of what is required, the contract and the act, and then the other funds which we are yet to process. Yeah.
Chair, I don't know whether you're not seeing me, but
Senator Siengo?
yes, thank you. I'm in agreement, Chair, of what you have advised, but I still insist that the documents are sent to us 2 weeks earlier.
The letter, you know, the letter that is going to invite them for the meeting on funds, it's going to indicate that they need to come with the agreement and the act. So that will be specified in the letter. And it also gives them at least 1 week to make responses to the auditor, and then the auditor also processes them for us. So that will be stated in the letter. Yeah. Any other issue? So if there is no any other issue, I think it is almost 5. We close at this point. Maybe ask the governor to make closing remarks.
Chair, I will not have much to add on what we've already conversed. Maybe to appreciate your support and the insights that this committee and the players are giving us, and also all the counties being your role to support the devolution to function properly and give services to mwananchi. That is what Meru County devolved unit is there for, and all what you requested us to furnish this office with all the documents, Chair, we commit to give them as when they will be required, and very ready to be guided on how to handle even these sagas. If they are not of any value to the people of Meru, again, we shall stand ready to be guided by the experts who are here, Chair. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Governor, and I also want to thank you for coming. I think when we saw a statement coming from Kilifi, we were worried. We remain here to be partners in ensuring governance in our counties. You know that this committee deals with the entities in counties, and we have quite a number of reports. In fact, we have 560 reports which we need to deal with. So if you divide by 47 counties, then you realize that we are doing averagely 12 reports per county. Those reports cannot be covered in one meeting. That's why we have to spread it in 3 meetings, so that at least we do 4 reports per meetings. And that's why now this is the 2nd time you are appearing before us. The 3rd time will be when you will be coming for funds, which we have said we are going to include this as well once we have the information on the agreement. So thank you very much for honoring our invitation. That is a good sign, and we will always support you. We, as leadership of the Senate, we have agreed that we are going to meet Council of Governors on 26th of this month. But before that, we have said that counties needs to demonstrate good faith by making an appearance before us. So thank you very much. At least today, we have had 2 counties appearing before us, Nyeri County and Meru County. We encourage the others also to come and appear before Senate because this is a very important accountability process. It's not about witch hunt. It's just about trying to help each other so that we can help our people better. So thank you very much. I wish you safe journey back to Meru. Honorable members, this meeting is adjourned until tomorrow. We have no meeting until Wednesday. The time that will be communicated